To get a copy of Quantum GIS, you need to go to the website, which is www.qgis.org, as you see up here. And this gets you right here. To download the application, you press the big download button. And as you can see, there are versions for Windows, Linux, Mac OS X. And you'll probably go to Windows. And there is one that's the standalone installer recommended for new users. And that's probably the one that you want to click on. So you would just click on there and it will download a setup program to go and install a whole bunch of stuff. The installation comes with all sorts of extra GIS tools, which we won't discuss here as much, but the one that you need to worry about is QGIS, and one of the icons that will be showing up on the screen is for QGIS. So you double click on the QGIS icon and you will get this screen right here, and this is what QGIS looks like. And as you can see here, there are all sorts of menus, and we'll go through what all these menus are. And there are all these icons, and sometimes there are more icons than you can see here. So for example, here we see there are a few extra, and same thing here. So and you can stretch them all out or have lots of icons depending on which version of the software you get, or which installation it is. Some of them have all the icons showing, some of them have them partially hidden, like I have right here. The way to open a layer is to use these plus buttons right here. So add a raster layer, add a vector layer, and of course under the layer menu you can also go to add vector layer, add raster layer. So these are fairly straightforward and self-explanatory. We'll start out with a raster layer that we'll be opening up, and this raster layer is sitting right here. We'll be opening it. We'll wait a couple seconds, then open it. And it's a fairly big raster, and it's an image taken from a high-resolution satellite of the Alexandra Reserve in the core area. So we see this is the main highway running through here. These are the buildings that you see as you go by. And like I said, this is the core area. This is the Rivière-Quévert river, and the main highway, and so on. So this is all geo-referenced. So this image is actually in the right geographic location and has projection characteristics. If you see the numbers down here, these are the projection numbers for this particular area. So it automatically is giving me the coordinates and so on. If I want to see extra options for this layer, all the layers show up here on the left-hand side. And as I highlight, it tells me what the layer name is. And where it's sitting. So in this case, it tells me the directory and so forth where it came from. If I do a right mouse click, it gives me some options, and we'll be looking at some of these options as we go through the course here. So that's through a right mouse click on the layer name. If I double click, I get some other options, and here one of the ones that I'm interested in is making sure that this is set to UTM zone 12, because that is the projection for this particular image. So here, as I click here, it gives me all sorts of a list of projections, and there are thousands of projections showing up right here. The one that we want is UTM zone 12 north, and that shows up in here under the projected coordinates and under UTM, Universal Transverse Mercator, and then you just choose the right version of the UTM that we're going to use. So we selected this one, UTM zone 12. So we'll say OK, and it's NAT 83. And for those of you who took the previous course, you'll know all about datum and some of the issues if you choose the wrong one. And we'll say OK. So now we know that this is set properly to the right projection, and we can also set the project properties to set the same projection. So we want to make sure that the projection for this project is also NAT 83 UTM zone 12 north. And now both the map and the project have the same projection information, which is fairly handy. And we can zoom in, zoom out, do all sorts of things. So I can zoom in here, and we can actually get down to the level where we can start seeing some of the vehicles parked here. And this is, and also the nice architectural detail of the roof, the beautiful pattern on the main building there, and so forth. So those are right from the image. So and zoom back out, you can just zoom out. If you want to zoom to everything, that's zoom full. Or if you want to zoom the layer extent, in this case this is the only layer we have, so both will be the same. But once again, I did a right mouse click here to get this option. So that is what we have right there. Of course, the hand tool lets us move around like that. And fairly straightforward sort of options right there. And to show you that vectors and rasters can coexist very happily, I will add a vector layer here. And to do that, I will click on the icon here for Add Vector Layer. And once I click on there, it gets me once again this menu. I press the Browse button to see, the Browse button to see what we have. And then I go to my icon right here, go to the shape files, and I will find the layer that I want to open. So in this case, I'm going to open one called, well, I could open any of these, but I will open golf courses. There won't be any in here. Buildings. So let's see if there are any buildings showing up in here. So I say OK. And as you can see, there are 4 buildings showing up in here. So obviously the image has a lot more information than the 1 to 50,000 vector data that I just looked at. If those colors are not sitting out very well, so I can double click on the building layer. I can click on symbology, and then I can click on the color, and I can choose some other color that might be more appropriate. So I'll use this color right here, which is nice and bright. And of course I can change my line width, the style of line, etc. And now they stand out a little bit more. So I can zoom in there now and see the discrepancy between the 2 data sources, the actual image that we can see, and I can turn this on and off interactively like this. So it's telling me that I have a building right here, which I don't seem to have. Perhaps there was a building there at one point. There's saying that there's a building there, and once again there isn't a building there, but perhaps that was replaced by this larger complex. And the building right here is in the wrong place, in the wrong shape, plus all the other buildings are missing. So this is one of the nice things about having this imagery. This imagery is very, very important for most of the First Nations, because most of the data available is of very poor quality, the vector data, and these types of data sets provide a lot more information and allow you to do a lot more things as you move forward. And these are some of the things that we'll be discussing as we move forward.